The Xbox 360 had some of the most legendary multiplayer games of all time, and today I'm going to show you guys 10 of them that still have players on them in 2023. Let's get into it. And we're starting off with Fight Night Champion, which is actually the most recent Fight Night game and the last one we ever received, all the way back in 2011. Rumors of plans to release another Fight Night game, or at least work on it a few years back by EA, but then I think the idea got scrapped and they just focused their attention on the UFC games. Just me, by the way, but I prefer the boxing games over the UFC games. I don't know. I like UFC, but I just don't like the games that much. I would much rather play a boxing game. Anyways, there's also an Undisputed boxing game that's coming out later this year, I think. I've heard good things about that, but hopped on this game just to see if there's anybody on it. I didn't even know if the servers were still up, and lo and behold, a couple thousand players on this game every single day. You can get right into a match. This game still looks beautiful, by the way. Yeah, in my opinion, one of the better boxing games to have ever come out. Next up, we got the Battlefield games. Now, I'm kind of just going to group them together because there's a few of them for the Xbox 360. You got Battlefield 1943, you got Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3. Now, all four of these games are still active for the Xbox 360. Still have a good amount of players on them. 1943, Bad Company 1, and Bad Company 2 are unfortunately shutting down at the end of so this is the last few months that you're going to be able to play them ever. These games, in my opinion, are just absolute gems. Some of my favorite first-person shooter games to have ever come out, at least Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. With this news coming out too that they're shutting down those three games, it's most likely inevitable that Battlefield 3 will get shut down later next year. But yeah, still a good amount of players on these games. These games are beloved by the Battlefield community, widely considered some of the better games in the franchise. Still hold up great and still have a lot of players. Then we got the Gears of War games. We got Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3. Notice how I left Gears of War 1 out. So I've went back to all three of these games recently, and Gears of War 1 doesn't have a player base. Now, you can find matches via Discord and stuff like that. People sometimes set up lobbies. If you're just doing regular searching... Oh shit, sorry guys, I just sneezed and they're almost, But yeah, if you're just doing regular searching, you're not going to be able to find matches on Gears 1. Now, Gears 2 and 3 still do have players on them. You can't really find matches for Horde on Gears 2. Gears 3, you might have a little bit better of a chance. Gears 2, you're going to want to search for Guardian. Basically the only mode that I was finding players on it, but that is the most popular mode for Gears of War 2. And then Gears of War 3, you're going to find players on TDM. Now, when I hopped on Gears 3 earlier this year, there was like a glitch happening where it was showing 0 players on. Don't believe that shit. It's a fucking lie. Because there is players on this game, definitely you can find matches and get into them right away, at least for TDM. The two best Gears games of all time. It's no debate. I mean, if you want to debate me down in the comment section, let's do it. But I'm really happy that these two games are still active, at least until we get a remaster. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. There was rumors about it, and then I haven't heard anything about it in a couple months. Next up, we got Left 4 Dead 2. Now, you notice how I didn't say the first one, because I jumped back on both of these games recently, and the first one, I could not find players. Some people in the comment section said that there is players. It just depends on the days, so take that with a grain of salt. But the second game, which in my opinion is a little bit better, does have players across all modes, whether it's the PvP modes or just the standard campaign, which I know a lot of you guys prefer. Can find players online every single day. One of the best zombie games of all time, and I don't know what Valve's doing over there. They don't want to remaster this game. They don't want to touch any of their old classic games. They don't want to make sequels. They don't want to do anything. But until then, we can still play Left 4 Dead 2 on Xbox 360. We got the Call of Duty games, and I'm going to kind of bunch these together as well because there's a few of them. Now, to your guys' surprise, maybe, Black Ops 2 is still the most active Xbox 360 Call of Duty game. Probably nobody's surprised, actually. That definitely is one of the more popular games in the franchise. Still a couple thousand, not a couple thousand. It's usually hovering around 1,000 to 2,000 players every single day. And there is some hackers on this game, as I'm sure you guys are well aware with the older Call of Duty games. There's hackers galore. Fuck you if you're a hacker. And then the other Call of Duty games, COD 4 couldn't find players, MW3 couldn't find players. Advanced Warfare on the Xbox 360 actually had lobbies going. I was playing it a few days in a row, and there was full lobbies on TDM every single day. Also heard that Call of Duty Ghosts on Xbox 360 still has players. But yeah, just those three basically. The other ones are kind of dead. MW2 is hit or miss. You can find players some days on Domination and Search and Destroy. Most of these Call of Duty games on Xbox 360 are dead. I'm going to make a full video talking about which ones are dead in 2023, all of the Call of Duty games, so stay on the lookout for that. Next up, we got a few Rockstar games. We're going to start off with Red Dead Redemption 1, the first Red Dead Online, and yeah, in my opinion, it might be better than the second one as far as the multiplayer goes. I don't know about the campaign. I kind of like the second one's campaign a little better, but the multiplayer, I like the first one. Anyways, Red Dead Online is still active. You can find lobbies, full lobbies, almost every single day. People free roaming around. There's mini games going on. Such a classic game. They don't make multiplayer games like this anymore. I know it's not really like a competitive multiplayer game, but just a game that you can get lost in, the atmosphere. You guys remember when Rockstar actually used to make games? I mean, when's their last game? 15 years ago? GTA 5, they released that like 6 times, 7 times, 10 times. Anytime I feel like playing a Red Dead Redemption game, I usually go back to this one over the second one. Like I said, I prefer the second one's campaign, but I do like the first one's multiplayer a little bit better. Still holds up great visually and mechanically, and definitely a game you guys might want to hop back on sometime this year. Next Rockstar game is actually GTA 4, which is a little bit of a confusing one because they shut down the servers for GTA 5, but GTA 4 servers are still active. I mean, you can find lobbies every single day, almost full. People free roaming. Calls from Roman to go fucking bowling. How many times have we heard that joke? It's a little bit repetitive, right? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I should have said it. Anyways, yeah, GTA 4 is still active. This one doesn't hold up the best, honestly. Like, the driving in this game is absolutely atrocious, but other than that, it's still a classic game. I prefer GTA 5 online, as I'm sure a lot of you guys do, but I know there's a few of you that like the fourth one a little bit better, and luckily you can still play it. Now, I think they did shut down the servers for GTA 5 just because it's on the next generation of consoles, and GTA 4, of course, isn't. So that's probably why it's still up and active, but for how much longer, I don't know. It's probably going to go down eventually, so if you were a fan of this game or never tried it, you might want to hop on it this year and give it a shot. Next up, we got one of the older games on this list. Came out all the way back in 2008. Street Fighter 4, one of the better Street Fighter games in the entire franchise. Is that just me? I probably don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not the biggest fighting fan, but I did enjoy this one. And anytime I try to hop on this game or any fighting game, I'm usually getting my ass kicked, and it's pretty quickly. A lot of the players on this game are diehard fans. A lot of the players on all of these games that are sticking around are diehard fans of these games, so take that into consideration if you do hop on one of these games. You're playing players that love these games and probably haven't left them. And I've probably been playing them for years, so I'd struggle a little bit, but still fun regardless. Like I said, this game came out over 15 or just about 15 years ago now, and I'm just really happy that they have the servers still up. A lot of these older multiplayer games, they're getting their servers shut down. There's very few of them left, as you guys can tell. We're only doing 10 or like 11 games today on this list. And last but definitely not least is Skate 3. Now, I tried to download the second Skate from the store, but they actually removed it or something. I don't know why, but it's like been delisted. I don't know if that game is still active, but Skate 3 still is. Probably the, I don't know, I go back and forth. Do I like this one better or Skate 2? I do prefer Skate 2, but that's also because I probably put a little bit more time into it. But yeah, Skate 2 and Skate 3, two of the better skateboarding games to have ever come out. I'd put them right up there with some of the Tony Hawk games, and yeah, just really happy to see players on this game. I don't know when we're going to see another skate game. Probably not for another 20 years, knowing EA. You can hop on if you're a skateboarding fan. Even if you're not, this game still is fun to play. I mean, it takes a little bit to get used to the controls and stuff, and I was struggling quite a bit going back on this game. But once you get used to it, just a blast. That was my list. I don't know if it was exactly 10 games. It might have been 11 or 12, but it was something like that. I grouped some of them together, so don't mind that. But yeah, these were 10 or a little bit more Xbox 360 games that are still active to this day. I don't know how much longer they're going to be active for, because it seems like over the years, just slowly but surely, a lot of these developers are shutting down the servers for all these games. If you see any games on this list that you think you might enjoy, or you played them back in the past and forgot about them, hop on them this year, because I'm telling you guys, they might not be active for much longer. If there's any Xbox 360 games that still do have active servers and active multiplayers that I forgot to put in this video, let me know down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you could. It really helps me, and I would love you for it. Subscribe if you would like to, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.